Hello everyone, KingslayerKoshy, and welcome back to the final video of Bastion. In this part, we will take on the dream sequence that is Rucks' dream, which talks about the author. And I get to show off the most annoying what happens when you put all 10 idols and make them invoked. It sucks. And I also changed my inventory a little bit. Specifically my spirits. Bastion Bourbon has been replaced with something called Leechade. And Leechade is among probably the best Leechade is probably gonna give you the most bang for your buck in this dream sequence. Well, this dream sequence when you're actually going for
I still like to read from time to time.
the 10 idol achievement. And the combo that I'm going with is the Calamity Cannon and the Brusher's Pike. The Brusher's Pike, I've explained numerous times that you can manipulate walls and just hide behind them and just stab. And use the hitbox to just stab through walls and just keep stabbing over and over again. But the Calamity Cannon, I made a comment that when it's fully upgraded, it becomes probably one of the most valuable
Here we go.
weapons you can use. It takes a little bit of practice to use it though, but once you know how to use it, it becomes one of the most effective weapons in the game. And you can't go wrong with either of the upgrades. I personally prefer the second upgrade, but the two upgrades that you get when you upgrade the Calamity Cannon are homing rockets or the residue. And I usually go for the residue because it allows lingering damage to finish off any enemies. And here throughout this challenge we will meet probably one of my least favorite enemies to deal with in this challenge, which is the goddamn turret, which is the goddamn turrets, specifically the ones with the homing shots, because you can never truly counter them, and they're, in my opinion, the most bullshit turrets in the entire fucking game. Every other shot, when you counter them, goes straight back to an enemy and does damage to them. But when you hit the enemies from the turrets with the yellow ones, it circles back around and it has the possibility of still hitting you. Which then begs the question, what the hell is the point of frigging using the goddamn counter system? You're just better off beating them normally, because after you beat them, their homing shot will eventually just become regular shot and just trail off. And as you see right now, I'm playing a very dangerous game, and this is one of the spirits being put to good use. The spirit that I recommend you take into this challenge, or any dream sequence that you plan to take for 10 idols, for the 10 idol achievement, which is the Leechade. What it will do is it will cut the effectiveness of the green tonics, making it so that it only heals up to a third of your HP, but in exchange, whenever you hit an enemy, you'll gain a fraction of HP back. So combining that with countering enemies, if you're good at countering, you won't, Leechade may not be too useful to you.
D is for dread rum.
You'll probably be able to find some use out of another spirit.
One taste will
The reason I took this one is because with this tonic, with this spirit, it allows me to, I just feel that you'll get more, it becomes more useful in the long run. You'll get more use out of it, especially later on. Because one of the other items that I have invoked
in an emergency
will
stay calm.
Do one particular thing. You'll notice that none of the enemies, or during all the dream sequences, there has been no black or green tonics. That is thanks to the last of those idols. The last idol makes it so that when you summon him or have him invoked, you won't be getting any black or green tonics. You're running on what you got.
Foundation. Solid plot of land.
Sorry.
Than you can imagine. Even
Throws a little sore.
Start small.
But I'm still kicking. Unfortunately, but I'm still alive. Or still surviving. Beside the point. Okay, so the caterpillar creatures that you see there that put you in those traps are actually going to be one of the most useful ways to recover HP if you need to recover HP. And you'll see it later on in some of the later reflections.
G is for Garmuth, the god of purpose and folly.
But anyways, I've gotten pretty far into. I've gotten about a fifth of the way into this battle, and so far I haven't had to use a tonic or continue yet. Oh, crap. Also, I had a funny moment in one of these, attempts where I actually fell. I was, when you walk your way towards this Bastion area, this fighting arena, the back area, the entrance to this area collapsed, but as it collapsed, I actually fell through continuously for like 4 to 5 attempts before I actually made it on the solid ground, which I thought was hilarious. And also in another attempt, I'm not sure if it was the same attempt though, but there was an attempt where a lunkhead pretty much fell. God damn it. Yeah, but a lunkhead fell off and killed himself. Just to show that you can actually potentially manipulate the enemy AI to fall off the cliffs and make it easier on yourself. I guess the one good thing about Leech Aid is that it makes things a lot easier in the sense that I don't have to rely on just using the counter so much, because what I can do is just hit them. Although I say that as I counter like nothing else. Although in this challenge, you're gonna want to pretty much be at full health at all times, because every single round has the potential to end you in a matter of seconds if you're not in a good position. I think the reason why I'm countering is because you can actually get more. I get more health back as I shoot more, as I hit more needles. Because what you can do with this pincushion in particular is, as it shoots the needles out, you can pull your shield up and walk towards it as it shoots the needles when you counter to heal off of multiple shots. Sadly, the laser turrets are the only thing you can't counter, but I could care. That means nothing to me. I'd rather at least be able to block this, because now we gotta deal with the slow-moving, homing shots of the bullshit turrets I hate so much. God, I hate these goddamn turrets. Especially when you counter them, because if you counter them, they actually do a hell of a lot of damage to you.
The god of health.
Oh shit.
We each have a type of strength in us until that strength runs out.
So anyways, yeah, also, there's a little bit of schizophrenic difficulty here with some of these challenges. Like, as you can see, I'm manipulating the lunkhead by using the pillars, as you can see. This is this challenge has pillars rising as the battle continues on, so the more the battle rages on, the more pillars that'll start forming, and you can start using those to your advantage to finish up the fight. So just
K is for kid.
use that to your advantage.
Just like you.
So use that to your advantage against some enemies. As you see, I did that to the Lunkin in particular. I did that for some turret shots as well. Hiding behind and killing the turrets. Now, most of these challenges aren't too bad, at least until you get to the end. The end is where things get a little bit hectic,
L is for
particularly for one reason.
the god of hope and despair. The Mason King knows that.
Also, he talks about how, I find it funny because the thing is, he talks about, looking through an alphabet book about all the basics about whatever Ceylania and her, you know, basics are. And B apparently stands for breaker and not bastion for some reason. I don't understand why. And this is what I mean when I say the schizophrenic difficulty kicks in. Because the make this one of the most challenging. God damn. Make this one of the most challenging things in the game. Make this dream sequence more challenging. And I think what I'm doing right now is I'm actually trying to wait until this caterpillar comes back. And it's right now when I realize that you can actually gain health by shooting, whacking at the cage that it makes every single time it whacks the ground. So if you're low on health and only this enemy remains, just sit in its cage and keep stabbing it to regain your health if you have Leech Aid on. Like I said, as you can see, I make Leech Aid make good use of Leech Aid here. It's very useful here. Always take advantage of the small enemies and use them to heal up when you can, because unless you're lightning fast in your reflexes in terms of blocking any other enemies, like
M is for Messiah.
or some like lunkheads or anything in particular, or anything in that kind of particular
And in the end,
level, you will most likely just be signing a no death warrant. And this is where the hell starts breaking loose. Multiple arrows start coming in, shooting at you, melee ranging you. God damn it. And it's just not fun. Fortunately, this round is easy because I fight Tura and an Angle Gator. And the big bosses that usually show up in the reflections are usually the easiest things to take on. There are some enemies that you can take advantage of more than others, but it's usually the big enemies that you can take advantage of the most. So like as of right now, all I'm doing is focusing on although between the two scumbag version of scumbags, the big ones that there are two versions of scumbags that fight you. There's the one version that charges at you, and then there's the other one that keeps throwing blue goo at you. And the blue goo ones are usually the ones that give you the most crap. And now we're dealing with and there I use my first potion, having to deal with of course, it's not the tanks that are giving me a hard time, it's the goddamn soldier. Or a soldier that's giving me a hard time because they're so fast and they do so much damage. So pretty much what I'm doing is just waiting for the Earth to attack me. I don't even bother countering because what you can do is just have your shield up at all times and you can just wait for him to attack you. He gets stunned, you stab him. He gets stunned, you stab him, and just keep repeating that, and eventually you'll be able to kill him. The way I'm doing this right now is probably a very safe way to do it, and probably a very boring way to do it, but it does net results. So
He is for Pith, the god of commotion and order. When the wakeful bull is calm,
maybe if I was a little bit more skilled at this game, I probably would be able to do something. But then again, the way how this game is kind of portrayed, the gameplay isn't inherent. The gameplay is inherently, at best, it's good, but it's not something that's doesn't feel like it's inherently made to be. What's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't really allow for too much experimentation. Well, maybe, I'm not sure. At least at a higher level. Maybe I'm wrong on that up front, but I don't know for sure. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass because I've never seen anyone else play this game, and I'm gonna have someone say, in my opinion, that I'm just ignorant. Welcome to the internet. It's how it's how the internet always is. Every single person will be going at you, even if you're not even trying to be offensive. But there's still be a lot of people defending this game, and honestly, for the most part, I say, like, this is a good game. Don't get me wrong, it's just it's probably just because I'm just only, this is my first time doing it, that I'm probably just only seeing it from this perspective. Maybe there's other people that are able to do it another way, but I don't know. Also, this is one of the more annoying rounds because you gotta deal with frigging Ura, and a good chunk of the Ura use poison darts. And I believe this is where what I attempt to do actually is try to lure the Ura closer so that I can actually hide behind the pillar and actually kill him this way. And this is what I mean when I say I'm manipulating the pillars to work for me. the most dangerous thing about it is gotta deal with like this round is dangerous. You gotta deal with the poison. And here's me pretty much just playing a dangerous game. And now, like, thanks to Leech Aid and my quick thinking, I'm able to barely survive by the skin of my teeth. And now I pretty much just play this long waiting game. Fortunately though, if you get them to shoot themselves with their own arrows, you can actually make this go by a little bit faster, since the poison will slowly make them take down. Or at least slow their regeneration. I'm not sure which one's faster.
R is for Rothus, the god of thirst and plenty. The gorging host reminds us to always know when we've had enough.
Vending machine, there's those popcorn looking machines that shoot out the frigging I'm starting to forget a lot of the names of these enemies. And then here's me just pretty much taking advantage of two things, which are A, the fact that the frigging the vending machines are only shoot those squirts when they're not in when they're
big lumpy old fellows
in when you're in their range.
He loves eating trash.
So they stop shooting squirts when you're out of the range, or when there's enough squirts on the max squirts on the screen. You can use that to your advantage. So just stay out of the range and shoot them. At least that's what I do anyway. And then another round of turrets and a couple of arrows here and there, but the arrows, it's only one arrow, so makes the job easy. And it's just another round filled with turrets.
T is for trigger, the army sharpest shooter. Take pride in Caelondia's mounted soldiers. They risk it all to keep us safe. U is for Ura, our pale neighbors to the east, whose homes are underground. Each day we learn to live in harmony.
And here's me dealing with another version of Ura again. I think I go through this entire mission without dying. Fortunately, it's only one Ura, and because of that, I go back to my simple strategy of stunning him and stabbing. Stun, stab. It's only a matter of time before one of us gives it. And I get ballsy and try to go for 2 stabs. Don't try to go for 2 stabs unless you know you can get away with it. And the rest of them are just a bunch of
V is for vision.
pin cushions that are very small.
Remembrance. The sacrifices of our forefathers gave us a new beginning here in Zealandia.
Yeah, this one's just wallflowers and stink, the gas plants, and one random that shoots poison darts at you, which is always fun, but he's easy to deal with. Just do what you did before and just block and shoot. And once he's gone, everything else pretty much is a joke to deal with. These wallflowers are pretty
W is for Weepin' Nelly. The
underwhelming variant. They're the ones that shoot at you, which fortunately you can just walk around or just put up a shield and just sit there and block. There's Zero. Yeah, the later visions always have Ura there. And if I'm correct, is this the... No, I don't think this is the big... Is this the big Ura that gives me a hard time? That gives people that gave me a hard time? No, it's not. I think it's only occurs in the last one. Anyways, just stabbing.
Nothing. Strangers
and like I said, the leech shade really makes good use. Makes it more pure. Man, there's me using the Graver Gimlet to my advantage, which is a special spirit that when I kill enemies, there's a percentage that that instantly increases my critical hit percentage to 100. But that's only like a small chance of it. That's a small chance of having. It's like 5 or 10%. But when that happens, you pretty much get every hit's a critical hit. Was it here? No, I don't think it was here. I think it was the next vision that gave me crap. No, it was this vision, I think. Oh, I guess it is the next vision. One of the divisions close to the end forces me to use the special skill, and the special skill is the portal, the turret. What makes the turret good is that you can use it as a temporary decoy. It can shoot enemies, and it can also be used as a decoy to protect yourself. And with Ura dead, yeah, in these visions, whenever there's Ura, always the Ura are usually the toughest enemies to deal with because they always keep attacking you relentlessly. Everything else is pretty much supplementary. They're just kind of there.
Used to be one more page in here, though.
Although, considering that this is supposed to be a hodgepodge of all the enemies in the game, I'm amazed that I'm surprised they didn't add the what is it? Scumbags with the pickaxes and the rattletails or peckers, but Then again, I really shouldn't be complaining because those things are my least favorite things in the game. And this is the enemy I think I was referring to. The enemy that... which may as well be the Balsura. And there's me being ballsy and actually succeeding in countering him. I got confused that this was the last real vision, but looking back at so that's why it took me a couple times, and I ended up actually realizing that this was the last vision after completing it, and I realized that it was okay to die. I can afford actually dying here, but I actually managed to pull off this dream sequence, and
was about the author.
That being said,
Much, but the imagination has
that's the end of Bastion, ladies and gentlemen. So next time you'll see me, or at least do my post commentary, you'll find me doing something else. See you guys then.